to the show, to a very special episode of A Candor Gander. It's a sponsor episode by our friends at DFK Helper. Uh, Cue the video. Do you love DFK but are maybe tired of grinding away? Do you wish you could just automate all of your tasks and get on to the fun stuff? If so, then DFK Helper may be the perfect tool for you. With DFK Helper, you can automate routine tasks, free up your time, and focus on the things you love about the game. DFK Helper is a powerful automation tool that can help automate a wide range of tasks, including dueling, questing, selling heroes, raffling and claiming those raffles, leveling up, bridging, stamp potting, and topping up deck gaps. It's easy to use and it can save you a lot of time and effort. If you're serious about DeFi kingdoms, then DFK Helper is a must-have. Sign up for DFK Helper using the referral link below. Keraket? Would that be right?
Keraket, yeah. It's from my
Keraket.
old World of Warcraft times when I was.
It's gamer name tags transcend all games. Mine's from Call of Duty. I think if I were to do it all over again, maybe I'd choose a different name. It's probably not a
Same here.
the name I would choose, but here I am today. You go figure. Well, you bought your first hero in April, but now you're it's interesting. I was thinking the other day, definition of a whale. What would you consider a whale? And I think oftentimes the easiest definition is someone who has more than you do. But you have a considerable amount of heroes. You went from your first hero in April to well over 2,000 heroes today. Is that right?
Yeah, right. I got around 2,000 heroes now.
Oh my God, that's quite a number. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you the largest user in for DFK Helper, and then if you're not, you're probably up there.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of the largest users, but I don't think I'm the largest. There are some others like Scoopy, and yeah, I don't know like the exact hero numbers of each DFK
Right.
Helper user, but yeah.
So for you, I mean, with over 2,000 heroes, and I know there's other people with, well over 1,000 heroes each. How do you have your profile set up? Is it one account? I don't suspect it is. You might have multiple wallets with multiple different bots running on them. Is that right?
Correct, yes. Currently, I use 5 wallets with Helper, and I just split the heroes so that these wallets operate as optimal as possible. Yeah, otherwise, due to the limit of transactions per wallet per day kind of thing, it's not gonna be very nice to have them all in one place.
So I have to ask you, at what point in time did you decide to jump into bots? Because I don't suspect you started with the DFK Helper. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. And then at what point did you transition into utilizing DFK Helper?
In September, I transitioned to DFK Helper. I first just wanted to try it to see what it can do for me, and thanks to all the features it provides, I kind of had to move to DFK Helper.
Right.
And since September, I'm with Helper.
Well, and if your wallet's anything like mine, and I suspect it's like mine but multiplied by several folds, I went from right. I think I had maybe 80 heroes before I started utilizing DFK Helper, and once I did that, I feel like the faucet was turned on, and the number of heroes grew exponentially. I think I'm at probably closer to 300 heroes today. And I started in April, in October, I think, when I started using Helper. Um, and it was that ease of use and that sort of no brainer. You don't even have to think about it. Sort of mentality that sort of it's allowed me to sort of enjoy the game. I think a bit more. It certainly allowed me to do stuff like today, and producing more content. Uh, for you, I mean, was it one of those things that once, because you were using bots beforehand, but once you started using DFK Helper, did you notice sort of things change up for you where you went from whatever number of heroes you were at to where you're at today?
Absolutely, yes. My number of heroes increased drastically. Um, yeah, I mean, like most people, at first I did all the manual questing, tried to do it as many times as I could. I didn't really wake up during the night to do it, but I tried my best to do it as much as possible. And after using bots and especially the FK Helper, I realized that it makes sense to really go to that limit that my tier at the time was providing me, and to have as many heroes as I was allowed to with that subscription to increase my profits, right? And heroes were cheaper at that time already. They've gotten cheaper even more now, but I still think it's worth it. I mean, obviously, I totally believe in what DFK is doing and in a bright future of DFK as well. So I well invested, and I really think like all the assets that these heroes are gathering for me and for the ecosystem are they will be worth it at some point.
Well, and I think that the big debate many of us would have and had along the way, and I think things have changed for many of us where, certainly for me, I was on the fence at first about how I felt about bots. Once I went in, sort of, dipped my toes and tried them out, there was no way I could go back. Um, and for those of you who may know, I participated in that 100 USDC challenge, manually questing heroes. It wasn't 200 heroes. It was maybe at one point up to 20 heroes. Boy, does it make a difference. Even with 20 heroes, it's not impossible to sort of operate and sort of partake in, DeFi kingdoms. But you really got a different experience with a bot. And particularly, I would say DFK Helper because of all the things it can do, and we'll dive into that here in a bit. But um, question for you in regards to your bot setup. I mean, uh, some people would say that owning a bot maybe makes it not so much fun. I would argue the opposite. For me, I know it's been an opportunity to, yes, the content creation on the side, but content creation aside, I've been able to sort of, dig more into those hero abilities, try and pull off some amazing trades, enjoy the summoning process a bit more, reap those rewards along the way. For you, I mean, how, because it's not just, set it and forget it. It can certainly be that, but it allows you to enjoy the game. How are you enjoying the game a bit more using DFK Helper?
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot more than before. As you said, I have had the chance to really dive into the genetics, into the summoning part, into strategic things like what kind of items do I want to keep, when do I want to sell, how do I want to sell, what do I craft, things that I just would not have the time for if I would manually quest. And it's a lot more fun like this.
Oh no, I mean it certainly is. I know for me, I'm crunching out new heroes, and they're not just, I'm not. I know some people are trying to go the jobber route where they're creating heroes that are just gonna farm and quest for them. I'm trying to hit those special heroes, those ones that to me are at least more valuable, and I think the market and and other people would value as much as well. Sounds like you're doing some of that as well. But I've got to ask you because I don't have the luxury of owning any Gen Zeros. Do you happen to own Gen Zeros?
I have two right now. Yes, I
Well,
have a
and then my
Legionnaire Scholar.
oh well, that's a nice pair. Question I often ask myself, and I've heard some people debate. Um, and by no means is this hey, you know what, it's super secure, nothing's ever gonna happen because if you marry yourself to nothing's ever going to happen, things can always happen, right? But I trust DFK Helper. I know I've had many conversations with both Zealous and Coolio. I know they've described it to me, and in terms of we've had conversations about security and it being safe. Your Gen Zeros, do you find DFK Helper secure enough to sort of entrust them with your Gen Zeros, or do you keep them separately from your entire lot of heroes?
No, I completely trust them. I was in touch with them pretty intense over the last 9 months or so, and my Gen Zeros as well as my legendary Dread Knights and mythic heroes and whatnot, they're all on the DFK Helper wallet. I don't own any heroes on a separate wallet. I have like a bank wallet which I don't use for questing, so I don't need Helper for it. Where I just send a few things like eggs up to a certain point, or tiers, or other assets, just to keep them, um, in the hope that at some point they will be more valuable later on. But other than that, I use Helper for all my heroes. And I don't have any trust issues. I have never had any problems. So,
Right. And like I said, I don't dabble in absolutes, but I do trust DFK Helper with all my heroes. Um, to each their own. I know, I've heard from others who sort of take any bot operated accounts as, they treat them as compromised accounts. You can certainly go that route. And I would advise to do whatever makes you feel comfortable. But I know for me and for you, it sounds like we entrust and we trust the system to be working as intended. um Again, I would recommend and sort of advise for you to do what's best for you, but I know that I trust them with all of my assets.